and welcome. Welcome to the next December start. Oh, double feature. Then on I'll be here to start us off. Ed Campos Jr. and Jen Hall, and we are so excited to have all of our amazing speakers here. Hello, everybody. Hi, Jen. Hey, Ed.
Hey, so excited. This is awesome.
I know. I can't wait.
What's up?
Yes. So I'll be starting us off, but do not worry. Jen is going to follow myself and Ed up with a real how-to. So if you're here for the how-to, don't worry. You're going to love our keynote. We're going to start off with a keynote that's going to really dive into ways that you can use it. We're going to try to be really creative with our usage today. So I'm going to take a deep breath because I'm going to do a little performance here, and it'll just be me in a second. But I just want to say a big thank you to Ed for inspiring this, and Jen for following up with the true how-to. We'll get there.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
All right, awesome.
Away we go. Okay, so thank you so much. All right, so we're going to start off. This is my keynote here. My Ignite talk is entitled Designing a Year of Yes to Me. How does this teacher, mother, educator, and a mentor, scared to take bigger leaps for herself and show all the innovative and creative expectations to others, grow up to be a speaker and a founder? This Google innovator had to go farther, work a lot harder, which made me a lot stronger, and I am a lot smarter, and I am a self-starter. By 40, I knew my why as an educator. And every day my class was being cheated and greeted by a mask of fear. I struggled to let something go. Inside, I was worried to clear my plate and be a failure, but I had to admit to move on, let go, and grow. Then innovator came, and inspiration reigned. I could see my future leap into this day. Took the biggest leap of all. To Singapore I came to learn from others' journeys, model, can do what I say. Well, the word got around. They said, this one found her voice. Yeah, found my cheering section just to push me to grow better. Get your PLN and don't forget from whence you came. And design a year of yes to me. And what's my name? Stephanie Rothstein. My name is Stephanie Rothstein. And there's a million things I haven't done. But just you wait. Just you wait. Went to Fall Q and saw this guy keynoted, spit rhymes. 2 months later, met Eddie at my favorite taqueria. Got the courage to ask to meet with him. How you been? I found my kindred soul to which I was akin. Now here I am presenting with Eddie Campos, filled with pride. Sharing this Ignite, Hamilton brought something new inside.
A voice saying, Eddie, you gotta sing for yourself.
We started
retreating and reading every PD on the shelf.
There would have been nothing left to do when COVID hit us too. We could have all said, we'll institute without a cent of contribution. Started working, teaching all these great others and more. Sharing PD, gaining fun with global gag we'll all explore. What's my name? Stephanie Rothstein. My name is Stephanie Rothstein, and there's a million things I haven't done. But just you wait, just you wait. Thanks all for listening. I'm going to pass it on over to Ed, who's going to come in with his 10 life commandments.
Oh yeah. Is my screen sharing? There we go. All right, hey there, what's up, GEG, or is it GEG? My name is Ed. I'm a little humbled to hear all the nice things that were just said, but I'm gonna save your ears because I can't sing. My voice is definitely not as nice as Stephanie Rothstein. I feel like I must say, I've only seen Hamilton once, and I don't have to Disney Plus, but like Biggie Smalls, last year was all a dream. I had a pretty damn good 2019. My life was aligning and the lights were igniting. I came up with these 10 things and I was getting excited. So excited I couldn't stand it. I decided to call these my 10 life design commandments. Number 1. So COVID hits and all the plans we had for the year wrecked because COVID said, here, hold my beer. I don't know about y'all, but I had quite a fall and all the plans that I had in store went out the back door. I felt like I was stuck in a bad dream, binge watching Ozarks and Tiger King. Netflix and chill. It was DoorDash for meals. In bed, but couldn't sleep. My will was weak. This happened for weeks. I remember the room where it happened because it was the room where I was napping and it was the room where I was snacking. With all my anxiety and my stressing, I must confess it was depressing. I was so tired, stressed, and hella pissed. I ended up hiring a therapist. Pardon me, are you a counselor, sir? She said, you don't see so well. I'm a her, sir. I'll be your therapist, though. I'm at your service, sir. This might not come out sounding too nice, but while we're talking, let me offer you some advice. She said, you need to stop screwing yourself over. Focus on helping yourself by first helping your mental health. I was becoming my own worst enemy, and I needed to tap into that activation energy. She said, you haven't caught COVID, but you caught something and need to shake it. The easiest way to not make your shot is to never take it. You need to replace Netflix and chill with some self-care and steel will. So I took my first shot and I took one step out the door. I started walking and talking, Marco Poloing and Voxing. She showed me the way and I've been feeling better every day. I started posting with hashtag flatten the curve, flatten the belly. And Marie Kondo'd my pad because it was getting mad smelly. And it got me thinking about my cousin who's a nurse and how her team in the COVID unit has it way worse. So I thought about my initial commandment line, Marie Kondo'd the 10 and turned it into 5. How to deal with this COVID card we was handed, and I had to remix the 10 life design commandments. So let me tell you about what's been on my mind with these 5 life commandments redesigned. Number 1, you just got to get outside. Take that first step, walk, run until you clear your mind. Number 2, tweet that hashtag out because others relate. There's a whole world out there in the same mind state. Number 3, hey, let's run a MK. 5K, 10, 1, any K is okay. Just make sure to tweet your training every day. Number 4, let's raise some money for a cause. Because my cuz and her crew are on the front lines for you. The least we can do is help pay and buy them some food. Number 5, the quarantine will never die. We just multiply. I hit up Steph and said, let's run.
The two
of us. Tomorrow there will be you and you and you and you and us. Yeah, we're physically distant, whatever, but we can be socially connected and motivated together and help some nurses in the process as we get through this bad weather. So if y'all want to join the quarantine, do some good, then let's do this.
Woo! That was awesome. Yes. Okay. And I am a part of that as well. He has inspired so many, and I am so grateful. Yeah. All right. We got through it, Ed. We got through it. We did it. So with that, we wanted to ask some questions. So give me a sec. I'm gonna present now. We wanted to ask you a question that we would love for you to answer in the chat. And so when we started talking about design, I know we're here talking about Canva, a design program, right? But we wanted to think about design and designing your life. So if you didn't catch it, we were talking about the redesign of our own lives while talking about a design program. So what we'd like to know from you is, how are you going to redesign your life. We want you to think about, what are a couple things? Do you have 5? Do you have a few? What would you like to do to redesign your life? Mine talked about figuring out my year of yes and how I was going to clear my plate. And Eddie talked about his 5, and then coming into the flatten the belly, flatten the curve, flatten the belly. But there was a lot that he brought up that was super heartfelt in that. So this would be a time that our amazing people backstage, if you want, if there are things coming through in the chat, you are more than welcome to pop them up so that we know, and we can acknowledge some people and what they're saying they want to do for redesigning. Oh, thanks all. Yeah, you have some cheering for the flatten the belly. Yeah, that's awesome. Flatten the curve. Yeah, can people get on that and be a part of it, Ed, still?
Yeah. If you join the hashtag right now, together, hashtag flatten the curve, flatten the belly, it's all one really long hashtag, but I actually do have a website now, flattenthebelly.org, where I'm trying to activate some activism, and help healthcare workers on the front lines. Like my cousin, we just raised $1,100 for her and her crew in the COVID unit, and they've been taking pictures, sharing meals. If you go to that hashtag, you can see like some of the how appreciative they are, how hard they're working. So on their long shifts, they get meals paid for by this money, because we got T-shirts we raised with this 5K. This hashtag like turned into a 5K. Now it's turning into an MK, because whoever cares like how many Ks you run, just get out there and move. We got people out there that are like, oh, I'm glad you guys switched it to a MK, because I'm going to train for 1K. And I'm like, that's cool. You know what I mean? We just need to get out the door. And because there's a lot of stuff, going on. If we just stay isolated, we really can be physically distant, but we can be socially connected. And so we're looking for another group of healthcare workers to fundraise for the next one. But there's a form that's on the hashtag, and we'll be on the website soon to sign up. So
awesome.
We'd love to have y'all join the quarantine, as we say.
Yes, quarantine. I love it. And then we had some people there redesign, like becoming a Google trainer, really looking at some focus goals, passing level 2, being more involved in global GEG. Becky was saying, redesigning my life by opening up opportunities to learn from educators around the globe, bringing these ideas back to my district. Yeah, I mean, and then maybe even thinking about, what does that look like? What does that feel like? Yeah, congratulations. Woo woo. Passing level 1, that's huge. Right? Like first of many steps forward. I think that's amazing. And one thing that I absolutely love about this group is that we celebrate all of it, right? That every step is a worthy one, and we're happy for you. So great job. And if there's any more, you can keep chatting about it in the chat. I don't want to stop you. We hope that what we did, and Ed, fill in any gaps, because I probably will have some. We hope that what we did will spark something for you and make you think, what would I want to talk about? What could I share? Like, what is my voice that I want to give to other people? We all have a story. We all do. And you're the only one who has it. So how do you want to share it? What would you want to do? What would you want to talk about? And so that's really this next part, is we wanted to do something that would help us to take this to the next level and use Canva. That's awesome, Becky. Yes, you do. And I know you will. So, and so in order to actually do that, be the change that we want to see, right? Let's do it. So now it's your turn, and we're going to give you a challenge, and it's a 2-week challenge, because we know if you're at least here in my region, then summer is ever ending. If you are elsewhere and already back in school, you're amazing. And if you're going to do this challenge, I will cheer you on for sure. So what we want is a 5-minute Ignite. But before we go into the details of that and what it'll be, I want to let Ed kind of talk through what was the inspiration behind our talk, and how that came to be, since he introduced it to me.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Canva, because it lets me make pretty stuff really easily, and not being Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator experts, and that's always been real intimidating for me. Canva is like the easiest drag and drop design tool with like so many wicked templates. And so when Steph and I started chatting about like what would we present on, it went from like a how-to, but we're like, oh, maybe if we created like a little mini keynote, like a little mini Ignite. And so we kind of got inspired by these two ideas of an Ignite or a Pechakucha or Pechakacha. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it's like a Japanese presentation style, I believe, comes from Japan. And so like an Ignite is usually 20 slides, 15 seconds each. And or it's, I don't know which one came first, but a Pechakucha is like 20 slides, 20 seconds. And it's just a quick presentation, you know, usually image based, but just telling a story in a short amount of time, you know. And so we said that'd be kind of cool. We didn't necessarily do the timed slides, which adds a whole other layer of difficulty. I have done one of those before for a CMC math conference in Monterey, but we kind of controlled our slides. But it's a good challenge that you could also use with your students to just give them, especially distance learning like Ignite or a Pechakacha. There's tons of ways to time your slides that, you know, that Jen is going to show you later. And we actually, the funny thing is we were so engaged in like how we use Canva for all this stuff that we stumbled upon how you can animate text in Canva like a couple of days ago. We're like, ooh, this is going to be it. So let's just focus on the story. And then like I watched Hamilton for the first time last week. So I'm like, obviously big hip hop head. I'm like, yeah, we should do this, you know? And so it was just fun to take a risk, you know what I mean? And hopefully you guys see us take a risk and try something new with tools in Canva that we had never used before, trying out this. So, you know, just throw some spaghetti on the wall, see what sticks for you guys, you know?
Yeah, I did. You know, when I came to Eddie and I said, hey, you know, you're the person, you mentioned Canva to me at some point, and I finally got around to looking at it. Do you want to do a session with me? I did not know what I walked myself into, because if you ask Eddie to do a session with you, he's going to push you. So I'm grateful for it, for sure. But yeah, that was a moment of, he didn't know who we asked when he said, would you want to do something Hamilton? And then I started talking about all my love of Hamilton. So he asked the right one on that one. So what we'd love for you to do is a maximum of a 5-minute Ignite. And your Ignite can be inspired by the Ignite format or the Pechakucha format. But again, you might need to adjust the timing because the total is going to be 5 minutes. The other thing that Ed introduced me to was the story brand framework. And I put on that template for you that's there, the book that he got that from, and he put that together. So I'm super grateful because that basically gives us the insight. I first saw Eddie speak. I mean, I'd seen him before this, but I saw him at Fall Q, and that really was an amazing presentation. And after that, I was lucky enough to get to talk with him. We have a mutual friend, so I was able to actually have a conversation and just like gush and say, I learned so much from that. And he started talking about this framework, that's how he builds every talk. And there are 7 steps. It follows the hero's journey, the hero cycle, if you've ever used that, and has a similar format. And I just found it super powerful. I also this last year took the TED Masterclass series with some other innovators. It was something that Google Innovator partnered with TED Masterclass. And a lot of what I learned in there, I think, follows and aligns. But the story brand framework really helped kind of me to pull those things together. So it's a template that's there, and there's a few pieces. And then what you do is you're going to use Canva. So if you didn't know, we actually presented in Canva. That was the other thing I learned as I was working with Ed. I clicked the present button. There we go. Like we were presenting directly from Canva. I didn't have to share it anywhere. And then you're going to present it in Flipgrid. So you're going to record yourself. You could record directly in Flipgrid if you want. You might need to do that in steps if you want them to see you and see some of your presentation. Or you can pre-record and upload it there. If you need help with that, we can certainly help you. But you're going to record it and upload it before July 31st. And then really at the heart of it, Ed, what should they be doing at the very heart of all of this? Like what?
Yeah, I mean, the story, you know, I mean, we figured our story might have changed, or our story is, you know, the choose your own adventure there's a path that may have been blocked with, you know, the barriers and the recent things that are going on, and we're going through a pause. So with this pause right now, it's a nice time to just reimagine, you know, what you want to do going forward when, you know, there's so much uncertainty with school going forward, but a lot of you guys are skilled. It's got an amazing network. It's just kind of like designing the story of what 2020, you know, 2020 is trying to, you know, be it's trying to wreck our stuff right now, but we won't let it. So how do we not let that and take our story so that we all have that happy ending that we deserve, that we want for us and everyone. So.
I love that. So then our goal is you can do it on whatever you want, professional, personal, both, telling a story, and then selected ignites will be showcased at an event in August. We'll have all of them up on the Flipgrid. We'll be sharing that whole page out. We'll probably have a special thing on our website. And then we'll have some selected ones that we think will be great inspiration for the globe on a global scale. And we'll have probably like a showcase event that we will have at some point in August. We want to give ourselves time, at least for me, to return to school, but to watch everybody's and be inspired by it. So July 31st is the due date for that. We would love to have everyone participate. Anybody that's watching and beyond, you can share it with them. And the goal is just to get to not just using the tool, but using it for you and using it to do something worthy and something that, like, the point of making something is to share it. So how do you help yourself feel more confident and comfortable to share it out? And that's what I'm so excited to have Jen Hall here, who's going to actually show you how to use the tool more effectively, because she's going to have so many tips and tricks for us, and I cannot wait. So with that, let's bring, and Eliza is here. So Eliza, 1 second. You can say bye and you can say, welcome, Jen.
Welcome, Jen.
Okay, 1 second.
All right.
I want to tell you something.
All right, so if you could pop Jen up on the screen, that would be
Love it. Hi. That's the best intro I've ever had. That is fantastic. I need that. That is fantastic. All right. So this is super exciting to be able to share with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my slides up there. My stage manager is going to hit that. So it switches over to me and I'll have a little bit of power to walk you guys through some stuff here. And we're going to talk about how you create with Canva. And I'm super excited to share this session. I've done this a couple of times, and each time I learn new things that I really love about Canva. And so we're going to play around with that and learn some tips and tricks. That is the goal. So I hope you guys are excited to learn about Canva. And let me know in the chat if you're already familiar with it, and if you've used it before and how you're using it with your learners. So for those of you that I don't know, my name is Jennifer Hall, and I'm an educational technology specialist in Atlanta. And I work directly with teachers providing technology training and professional development. I have 5 schools I work with and I support throughout the district. And so it's a really cool job because I provide the training and then I get to push in and work with students in the classroom. So all this information is going to be shared. We're going to share the link to this presentation. I've screenshotted everything I want to highlight just in case we know the internet can be on the struggle bus and I want to go live and click on some things. But if not, I've got everything screenshotted in this presentation. So our goals for our time now, it's a tough act to follow. Rapper Steph and Eddie just was dropping the mic as well. But I'm going to try. And so the goals for your time with me for this portion of our session is 1, to explore the features of Canva, and then also to learn tips for using Canva to create engaging content. And we're going to highlight ways you can use it, especially for your challenge to create your presentation. Oh, thanks, Courtney. So excited to see Courtney's here with us again. This is awesome. I love to see familiar faces in the chat. All right. So why Canva? I always start with the why of any tool that I use. It's got to be addressing the 5 C's, of course, that communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. And that main one to me in the middle, that 5th C, is choice. And so giving students and teachers choice in the tools that they use to create engaging content. So let's dive in. If you're not familiar with Canva, you can register for an account. You can get a free account at canva.com. And so I'm going to hop over there. You can link it to your Google account, your Microsoft account. So it's single sign-on and easy access. The free account, I'm going to point out what you get in the free account, and you can get a pro account if it's something that you want to get. As an educator, I think it's like $10 a month if you prepay for the year. If you are a classroom educator, you can apply to get a free educator account. You have to upload, I think, your teaching certificate and answer a bunch of questions and stuff. So if you are a classroom teacher, you can apply for that. I am not in the classroom, so I'm being honest and did not apply for that. I didn't want to fudge the numbers. But if you are a classroom teacher, you should definitely seek that opportunity. So here we go. All sorts of options here in Canva. So I'm going to go ahead and go live to my Canva page here. So I'm on my home. Let's go to my home screen here. So when you log in and you link it to your account, what's fantastic is that there's so many different design options in here. We're going to talk about presentations, but I want to highlight all the other things that are in here that are really cool. I do a lot of designing in Google Drawings and Google Slides, which is great. But if you're new to graphic design and you don't kind of know where to start, or you kind of struggle with colors and images and things like that, Canva is a great tool because it's drag and drop, easy to use interface. And if you're like me, you go, well, wait, I want to do a social media post for Twitter. What size is that? Oh, I want to make a Google header. What size is that? Oh, so what's great is I can scroll through and I can see all of these different design options. If I want to do an Instagram post, a Facebook post, logos, all of that, it's already going to be in that right setting, the dimensions that you need. And then you can go in and just change out the content. And the other reason I like this is, as a former ELA teacher, I would love when my students would create PowerPoints, but they'd spend so much time on the bells and whistles. And I really wanted them to focus on the content here, because you've got templates. All you're doing is swapping out and focusing on content. Yes, you're looking at design and getting creative, but the lift is not so heavy, in my opinion. So lots of different options, posters, presentations, as you can see, lots of things here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose up here and I'm going to say I want to create a design. And as you can see, I can click through all of these options. Now I got to point this out. We're talking about presentations, but one of my other favorite things, and this is what really brought me back to Canva, is the fact that they have Zoom virtual backgrounds. So for those of us that are going to continue being distance learning and you want to have the opportunity to jazz up your Zoom backgrounds, they actually have a template for it, which is really cool. So check that out if you need to have access to some Zoom backgrounds. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go to presentation, and it's going to actually create one in the size that we want. And I'm just going to choose presentation here. And struggle bus internet, it's loading. Magic is happening. So what it does is it's going to automatically have it in that size. Now, it's asking me if I want to try the Canva Pro. So one of the things is, so once I've committed to, like, I want a presentation at this size, if I wanted to change it to another format, that's a pro feature. So I would need to start from scratch. But once I'm in here, I can go ahead and pick. Look at this. I've got all of these templates ready to go, or I can start from scratch. If you're like me, I usually start with a blank canvas, but a lot of folks that struggle with the design principles and layouts. And so this kind of helps them. So I'm just going to go down here and I'm going to say, I want to pick an education presentation, but I want to show you all the things you can add here. So I can upload my own resources, which is really cool. So if you have your school logo that you want to include, or look, if I wanted to put the global gag up there for my presentation, I can do that. I can upload all sorts of stuff. You see, I got my Genmoji there, and I'm going to show you something that's really cool about Bitmoji here in a minute. But notice I uploaded all different ones to here, and I can upload both video and images. So for those of you that caught the very beginning, the countdown video, I actually uploaded the countdown timer and then made that video here in Canva. So I can search for photos. And so I've got access to that. And I can search all different things. So I was doing a lot of YouTube videos during times. If I search for YouTube, it's going to pull up what I have access to. And I have free options. So I don't have to go out to Google and search for it. It's going to have it available in here. So I literally can just throw the YouTube logo on there just like that. So, I can go in and add different elements, which is really cool. So if you want to jazz it up, and then I'm going to show you how Steph and Ed did their really cool animations here in a second. So I can do little frames. So I use that. That's that computer frame I use for that countdown timer at the beginning. I can go in and get grids. Anything that's a frame like this, that means I can overlay and have something be in that size. So if I wanted the YouTube, let's do this. I want the YouTube to be the circle. This is kind of magical here. This is the fun part about doing this live, is we're going to see if this is going to cooperate. All right. I want my YouTube to go inside. Look at that. Boom. Because it's a frame. Any image I put in there, it's going to automatically frame like that. And it's super cool. I can do stickers. I can do charts. So if you're using this for science class or social studies or whatever, you can do that. I love it. It's got gradients, lines, and everything. And they even have, look at this, all these coronavirus elements that you might want to bring in, but you can search. So I can search for any element that I want, and it's going to tell you whether or not it's free or if it's a premium option. So I can also go in and add text. So I'm going to move my little YouTube play video over here out of the way, and I can go in here and I can choose a heading, Or if you're like me and you go down the font rabbit hole, they have these pairings already. So I can go, oh, I like the way that looks with that smaller text, with that bold impact type text. And I can literally grab it. Notice it's going to say free over anything that you can use. The text elements are going to be free. Most of the, a good number of the photo elements are going to be free. Some of the video stuff is not. And I'll show you guys that here in a minute. So if I really like, I kind of like this one, the love, peace, and joy. All I got to do is click on it and it's going to drag that in there and I can resize it. And I hit duplicate. Let's delete that. And delete that. And there we go. So you can use copy and paste, Control C, Control V, and copy and paste on here. But the pairing thing, I think really, if you're into design, this definitely helps with, oh, I like the way that looks. But I can also go up here and go, well, I kind of like that, but maybe I want to change the font color. So you just work your way across the top of the toolbar, and I can go up here and say, all right, I want to go so that it's the red that matches with the YouTube logo. So I can change it to red. There we go. So anytime I select something, it's going to come up. But did you notice what else came up? The animate. So that's that magic trick, which I've not played around with as much, but Steph and Ed amazed me with that, is that I can go up here, I can ungroup these elements. So if you're familiar with slides and drawings, you're probably already grouped your text, you move things around. So I can go up here and choose to do some animations on it. And I can choose what do I want to happen. Now, notice here's the difference. I've got block, fade, pan, rise, tumble, simple. Those are my freebies. If it's got the little royal crown, that means you got to upgrade, and that would give you some more options. But if I just chose a tumble, it's going to bring that text in and it's going to give that effect. So it's super cool, an easy way to do that. Okay, so that's adding in that animation. So I added all my text. I've got options. I can go in and shop for music. Now, here's the thing. Most of the music is going to have that magic crown on it. But the nice thing is if you do pay for a premium subscription and you use the music, because it's licensed already, you're not, it's basically covered under that copyright license for using it from Canva. And then I can also even go down here and add in videos and do little animations. So if I wanted to add in this beach, I wish I was still at the beach, I could do that. I could actually load that in and I could say, I want to set this as my video background. And so far, all I've done was add in a little bit of text, add in a little logo, and I've gotten started here. So I can add elements, but if I go up here and I want to see what does this look like, that's a little animation there. I've got business, cities, all that stuff. So you can look through. I will say that more of the videos are premium, but you still got a good option. So I always search for tech backgrounds, tech videos, just so animations I want to use. So that crown's going to pop up, but you still got a couple of good options. I used, let's see here, some of the countdown. Let me see if I can find the one I used earlier. Not a lot of free ones, but again, the nice thing is I can go and upload both video and my own personal images. So if I wanted to bring in an image or video, I can bring it in right here. Okay. So the other thing I can do is I can adjust the background. So I can have background colors or just background images. And I think that's kind of what Steph did, had a really cool, you had the bokeh image as your background. So if I decided, actually, I really like that one, the colors kind of work. Oh, now I got to fix my text. So as you can see, it's literally clicking and dragging and moving things around. And I want to change that text color here because that red's not going to work. So I could do that. Anytime you do anything, like I accidentally deleted, I can do that undo button. That is the best button in the whole wide world. And I can bring that back. I can move it around. And if I decide I wanted to go back even further, I didn't like that change, I can bring that back as well. So the interface is very slick, I think, because it's super intuitive in terms of over here on the sidebar, grabbing everything that you want, working your way across up here, picking your text, color, bold, italicized, all of that. You can group things and you can have multiple pages. So if I go down here, this is just page one. I can add my next page. So I want to add another page. There we go. And it's going to remember my background, but I could change that and have different backgrounds on each one. I can copy. I can duplicate. If I decide I don't want a page, I can delete it. The other cool thing is I can add a page title, so it makes it easy for me to find that page when I'm scrolling through, and I can have multiple pages. So what I want to do is actually hop over here and show you a couple of other things. Oops, sorry about that. Some other things that are linked in app integrations, and this is what's really cool, is they actually have these other integrations, including pushing out directly to your Facebook. So if you're doing social media posts, pushing directly to YouTube, pulling in and searching YouTube resources, you can link it to your Google Drive, which is really cool. So if you're using this with your students and you wanted them to create something, so 13 and older, they can get their own account. If you want to have an account that you let the kids log into, you could do that. But you could have a shared Google Drive folder that the kids go in and pull resources for a project that you want them to design. I can link it to Instagram. This right here is my go-to one right here. Bitmoji is there. So once you authorize and link your Bitmoji, look at this. My Genmoji lives in Canva. This was a game changer right here. So I can go in here and just scroll through. Now you can't search, but I can scroll through and just easily click on the one I want. So if I wanted to play a little tennis, there I go, dropping it in, moving it around. The other thing that I like is I'm going to find one of these, and I do this a lot with my Bitmojis. I'll actually, all right, sorry, Genmoji, you're going to go bye-bye here real quick. Let me find one that has some text on it that you might want to modify. So I do a session on Bitmoji if you're a Bitmoji lover. I've got one coming up soon, but you can check out my YouTube channel if you really want to learn some neat tricks. But what's cool is that there is a cropping feature, and I want to find one that's got me some text on here that I can go in, or an element I want to change. So maybe, okay, this is gym time. We're going to grab that one. I'm not going to the gym. Who am I kidding? So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to, when I click on it, I can choose to crop it. All I got to do is drag this bar right up here. Boom. Gym time is gone. Just like that. I can reuse this Bitmoji. I don't have to take it out somewhere, modify it, and bring it in. It brought it in as a PNG, and I can edit it very, very easily. Okay. So I do love that you can crop elements as well. So now under the free version, you get one folder where you can organize your stuff. If you want to have more folders, that's a paid option. So I'm going to actually hop back over here where you can see some of my designs. So I'm going to pause there for a second because this right here, Sue says, when is your Bitmoji session? I'm doing one on August 29th. It's not for a while, but I have several archived, and if you want to check out my YouTube channel so you can kind of watch and play, that is available there. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. The Bitmoji, they call me the Bitmoji Whisperer. I take that as a compliment. So I'm going to go here to all my designs so you can kind of see I've got several things here. I can go back. I can duplicate them. I can rename them. I can reuse them. I was doing a lot of designs for my YouTube series this summer. There's different countdown timers. What I really like is I actually created, let me find this one here that I have a series, my YouTube series. Oh, here it is, my summer PD series. And the nice thing about this is because you can go in and I can have multiple elements. So like I just kind of keep adding to this. So that way I don't have to go back to all of my, all right, it's loading. Sorry, internet struggle bus. So there's my summer PD series. But as you can see, I've got like all of the logos that I created for each of my YouTube videos. These are thumbnails. So they're just the right size for YouTube videos. So I can go in and I can just keep adding to it. Now, what's great is I can go down here and I can download this. And when I choose to download it, it's going to ask me a couple of options. Do I want it as a PNG? Do I want all of them? Or do I want to download them one at a time, which is really cool. So that's the advantage of labeling your slides so you know which one you want. So I can download them all or none of them. And it suggests what I'm going to do file type. But the other cool thing is I can go in here and go, oh, I don't want it as a PNG. I want it as a JPEG. Oh, I want this as a PDF. So if I was handing this out as a document, if I had embedded videos, I can download video, and you can now add downloading GIFs, which is really cool if you want to do some animation, short, quick animations. Awesome. Thank you. I love that the backstage manager dropping that in the chat. We did do, I did do my Bitmoji session for Global GEG. They were kind enough to let me hop on the channel and share some stuff. So let's look at what it looks like to create your presentation. So I want to pause for a second and see if there's any questions in the chat that y'all want me to answer, because I'm like very informal, totally up for questions. Any questions you guys have, throw them up right now. This will be our breathing point for a second, and then I'm going to go in and kind of start from scratch real quick on a presentation. So any questions that are burning there in the, I'm trying to scroll through and check the chat as well. Jinmoji, thank you, Dana. I'm glad I'm entertaining. So let's go back here and let's kind of start from scratch with that presentation one. So you guys are getting ready to build your Ignite Talk presentations, which now I kind of think I'm up for the challenge. Maybe I'm going to think about what I would share. But if I want to create a design and I'm going to say I want a presentation, and I'm going to go in here and I just want to start with a, how easily does Canva integrate into Google Classroom? Great question. I love when I get the good questions. So what's great is I can choose to share this, and I can get a link that I can push out. I can choose whether or not someone can edit it, or I can choose on whether or not they can just see it. So if you want to share out a resource directly into your Google Classroom, you can just say share that link, copy the link, and you can push copy and paste it in there. There's not a share to classroom feature, but you can copy that link, which will push you right to that presentation. Great question. I'm looking to see if there's any more good questions. What's the easiest way to bring it into, so you would use it now. You can create a presentation in Canva and use this solely as your presentation tool, because I can go into present mode, and I'm going to do that in a second. Now, if you want to do some designing, which I did do that, I did design some stuff here, and then I downloaded it and put it into a Google slide deck that I wanted to do some stuff with. I could do that as well. So it doesn't directly integrate, but you can download any images or media you create, and then you could insert it into your Google Slides. Great question. Let's see, Elizabeth said, hey, my friend Elizabeth, if you created a timer and add it to slides, would you download as an MP4 and then add that video to slides? Yes. So you could create your timer and download it, and then upload it into your Google Drive, and then just insert it in there. Yes. Great question. Awesome. I'm looking to see as far as assignments, I think Becky was asking about assignments. If you wanted them to create something as an assignment, I would require that they, whoever be the team leader, if it's an individual project, that they could share the link so you can monitor it. Option 2 is also, if they're in a team, like have one person be the team lead, and then they would be responsible for sharing it with their team members to collaborate, and then also share it with you as well. And they could post those links into Google Classroom. Awesome. All right, so I've got my blank canvas over here, but I don't want to start from scratch. I want to go over here and I want to choose, they have some education ones, which are really cool. And a lot of their templates are free, which is great. And they have a good look to them. They've got math, science lessons, social studies, or whatever. And I'm going to just because I loved the science one, looked really cool. But as a former ELA teacher, I'm going to go English. We'll switch it up. So I'm going to pick this one. Here's what's cool. I can say I like all of these, or I can just pick the ones that I want. So if I know I want to start with that one, it's going to add it. Oh, I kind of like the teacher one. I like this look, so it's going to add that one in there. Okay, and I could go, I like this worksheet look. So I literally can go in, let's start with this one as the first one, and I'll do new page and add that one. So as you can see, I've already got 2 pages of my presentation ready to go. All I got to do is go in here and change out the name and the content. But it looks pretty jazzy. I kind of like the colors, so I don't have to do as much design thinking. It's more so focusing on the content. So I can go in and change any of these elements. I can change the fonts if I want. I can go in here and change out these elements as well. They've even got footers and everything that you can change out this element right here. So any of these I want, but I can also mix and match. So maybe I like the way that looked, but I want to go over here and grab something from the science one, because the colors kind of go with it. So I'm going to change that one. So as you can see how easy it was for me to drop that in to get my template, and I can choose to go up and use that animate option and add that as well. So if I go up here and I select this and I want to animate it, block, fade, pan, and I got a couple options. You get some more options if you upgrade. Okay. So I'm just amazed with the number of templates that are available in there for teachers. And I love that it remembers what I recently used, but I can scroll down here. And even though, like, here's some animated ones that are really cool, that's going to have some technology presentations. Scroll through the ones you like, and maybe you decide you like one slide deck and you customize it and you just change out your content for your students. So works really well. But if you have students, again, 13 or older, that can get their own account, boom, they can create their presentations right in here. And again, they're focusing more on the content, not as much on the design, because all I had to do was grab a template. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Javier. It says in the Canva education version, in the bottom button that it shows a present option to present. Oh, that's great. I love it. Since I'm not I support teachers, but I'm not in the classroom. I don't have an educator account. So that's a great tip to know. Thank you so much. So now I've got my nifty little English lesson and I'm ready to present. And for you guys, your Spark challenge, you've got your slides together. What I want to do is I want to go to present. Okay. And it gives me a couple of options, which is really cool. Standard means it's just going to go live, or I can autoplay, which is going to be great for that Ignite talk where it's supposed to be that 20 seconds per slide. And I can do auto and I can say I've got 20 seconds per slide and it's going to automatically change for me. So that's really good for students to practice and do their presentations. I can set that. And the third option is I can go into presenter view. If you have dual monitors, this comes in handy if you're presenting on a Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Team and you want to be able to see your stuff. I can do that as well. Okay. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to say I want to go into the presenter view so you can kind of see what that looks like. So notice it brought up two windows. Oh, wait, you know what? You won't see the other window because of the way I shared. I apologize, guys. Let me see here. There's another little window that popped up. Unfortunately, you won't see it because it went to my other screen, but it will be like, oh, I can go into full mode and do that. So let me go back here real quick and we're just going to go to just standard presentation mode. And it's thinking, there we go. Looks like Google Slides, looks like PowerPoint. I can go here. I can, what I also like, this is a feature built in. When I'm presenting, it already has this little laser pointer option. How cool is that? So especially if you're doing virtual presentations, you've already got that built in. If you're wondering about my mouse, the fact that it has that really cool arrow, that's a custom cursor feature. But I can use that little laser pointer option and I can go to my next slide just like that. And I'm presenting, voila, magical. Okay. I'm taking a look in the chat to see if there's any questions that are popping up here. I got to figure out a way to app mash Pear Deck and Canva. Okay. So Pear Deck works with Google Slides and it works with PowerPoint now. They've integrated that PowerPoint option. So if you were wanting to use anything from Canva to have original designs or something, you could create some design graphics in Canva, download them, put them in either PowerPoint or Google Slides. But there's not an integration that I'm aware of. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's not an integration that lets you present in Canva and use a Pear Deck. That's a great question. Awesome. I'm looking here, see if there's any other questions that are popping up in the chat. But that's really, the nuts and bolts of Canva and how you can create really cool stuff and how you can easily share it, how you can download it. What's really cool is if I get ready and I want to download this, I've got all of these options. I could download it as a PDF. I could download it as a JPEG and share. Great question. Hey, another one of my friends. Hey, Janelle. We got to hang out earlier today. So have I used Canva for my Bitmoji classroom? I have not because I created my original. I did a Bitmoji virtual training room. And I did that in Google Slides. But now that you've asked that question, challenge accepted. I think I will try that because here's the cool thing. I can, and this is what I did with my Bitmoji training room, is that I wanted to hyperlink things. So I'm going to ungroup this. You can hyperlink text and images by going up here. So if I wanted someone to click on this and it would, any of these elements, and it would take them to somewhere else, I could do that. I love that idea. And I definitely think that that's possible to create a Bitmoji classroom in Canva, because you could once you publish it, you could share out that link and students will be able to see it. So challenge accepted. I'm going to try that. Let's see. I'm trying to see any other questions popping up in the chat. Let's see here. I'm going to pop back over here and make sure I covered all my stuff. We did talk about all the different design choices, and I didn't even go into all of them, but there's like, look at this, book covers for my media specialist friends that are in the chat right now. It's got certificates, announcements, and you name it. They've got every style of design in there, which I think is super cool. And you just create whatever you want. So we talked about all the different elements. I'm just scrolling through here, making sure I did not miss anything. This presentation link is going to be down there for you in the chat. We talked about all the different options. There are more fonts available in the pro version, but the free ones are pretty good. I'm able to do whatever I want with that. Again, love the Genmoji can live there. And I love that I can easily share my stuff, and you can push it into Google Classroom or template, push it out as an option in Microsoft Teams as well. Who uses, great question. Who uses Canva for social media posts? I saw the templates. I guess it helps with sizing. So yeah, that's the main thing. It helps with sizing. So the one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that there is an app. So what's really cool is you can design on the desktop version and then pull it up from your app and save whatever you've designed and then tweet it out or Instagram it and do that very easily. Thanks, Len. Good to see you here. So many integrations, so many ways I can publish things, which is super cool. I also use MailChimp for my weekly Tech Tips 411. So I'm thinking, oh, wait, I could design it. I haven't done this yet. I'm thinking maybe I redo my template and push it out to MailChimp. So many app integrations. And again, Genmoji. I told you, you get the 2 free folders on the free plan, so you can organize a little bit. So you can have like stuff for classroom and send stuff, for you to use. I love it. Maria says, also thinking about badges. Yes, this would be a great way to create some really cool badges. The social media ones are great. Just if you need to start posting on social media, but you don't know where to start, and you want to have some visual design factors, it's definitely pretty cool. I've seen teachers use the Instagram stories, but these are what's really cool, like blog banners. You can already have it sized right to put on your Google site or your Weebly site. I use the web thumbnails for YouTube. Venn diagrams is another really cool feature that's in here for you to create visually interesting Venn diagrams for your lessons, and then also having students demonstrate their learning with their own Venn diagrams. Again, I mentioned I fell back in love because of the Zoom virtual backgrounds. Check that out. And they also even have animated social media stuff, which is really cool. So these are just a few of my designs that I've created. I really like it because I can have a consistent look with colors and stuff. And that's back in the day. That was when I was short-haired Jen for a little while after I had COVID hair, flat-haired Jen. So there we go. That our goals were to explore the features of Canva. That was my goal, was to show you what's in Canva, kind of what you can do. So hopefully you learn some tips for using Canva to create engaging content. I'd love to hear what you found interesting. If you got one tip or trick that you're excited to use or try, I'd love that. Drop that in the chat. Please let me know. I want to remind you there is an app for Canva that's a free app. So that means you can design on the desktop, which is a little bit easier and cleaner, but you can design in the app and you can download your designs on your mobile device. So questions, comments, thoughts, I'd love to know. Janelle says this would be great for Twitter chat question slides. Yes, definitely, because you could have them ready to go. I think that would be an awesome one. Definitely. I'm looking to see if there's any comments or questions here that are burning up the chat. I really appreciate you guys, tuning in and checking this out. Shameless plug, if you haven't already done so, you can check out more tools and resources on techtips411.com. I'd love for you to do that. And you can also sign up for my weekly Tech Tips 411 newsletter, which goes out starting at the end of July for my teachers. And now I'm kind of rethinking, I might start doing it in Canva. We'll see. I'm really loving it. And also you can connect with me on Facebook, Tech Tips 411. I stream there with PD, and I also stream on my YouTube channel, which has a bunch of resources there. And last but not least, well, I have a captured audience. I got to share all this good stuff, right? Last but not least, you can get my mobile app, which has all sorts of great resources. It's all the good stuff that's on my website in the palm of your hand. I'd love for you to grab that as well. So thanks, guys, for your time. I appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you learned some great stuff. And thank you so much. Oh, thanks, Janelle. I love that some of my friends are on here tuned in. And I plugged this session earlier. Shameless plug. It was awesome. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
That was a wonderful demonstration of all the things that you can do with Canva. All the templates, all the logos, everything. It was awesome. Thank you so much.
Lisa asks, is your mobile app on Android? It's actually device agnostic because it's actually a web app. So you can use it on both Android or iOS. So thanks, guys.
So thank you also to Stephanie and to Ed Campos for that marvelous display of Hamilton-inspired ignite of a flame during creation with Canva. Thank you for Jen and her super cool tips to use Canva. And everybody, please.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the presentation. Do visit our website, globalgeg.org. If you need any further information, you could also join in the Twitter chat at globalgeg. And do join our global Google group with such friendly people. You can watch the recording at the same link as many times as you would like. And finally, do fill in the feedback form, which is down below, in order to get your certificate for attendance. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care now. Ciao.